Hello everyone, my name is Homero Campos and I am one of the guitar instructors here at Amarillo College. I just want to record a short video explaining what to expect going into a college or university as a music major, specifically as a guitar player. What you should expect, what you should know, what you should be preparing before you decide that you want to do that. Okay, which I highly recommend that you do that. So the first thing that you want to know is that you want to have a good instrument in order to study the guitar. Okay, now the type of instrument that you would need would be a classical guitar that I would recommend, and a good electric guitar. Okay, now those are the two instruments that are the most common for guitar players. All right. Now a classical guitar has nylon strings. Okay, you can also use just a regular acoustic guitar with steel strings. But going into there, this is how. Here's one tip that I'm going to give you. So when going in to buy a guitar, you want to make sure that the intonation is good on that guitar. Okay. Now I'm assuming that most of you have some experience with guitar and probably already own a guitar. But the intonation involves just whether or not the guitar is in tune with itself. Because if it's not going to sound good. And here's a simple trick that you can use just to check the intonation on a guitar that you were interested in purchasing, or maybe the one that you already have. You can adjust the intonation on some guitars, okay, if it's not in tune with itself. So the first thing we need to do to go over and check the intonation on a guitar is know where our fretting hand is, and I'm assuming that you would know that, but this would be your fretting hand because it plays on the frets on the guitar. Okay, finger numbers on the fretting hand: 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, here's the simple test that you can do to check the intonation on a guitar. Go to the third string, second fret with your first finger, and the first string, fifth fret with your fourth. You play those two notes together. They sound good together, right? Okay, that's called an octave. They're the same note, higher or lower. You continue to move that shape fret by fret, up as towards the body on the guitar. You keep going. They still sound good together. They sound in tune on this guitar because this guitar has good intonation. Now, if you get a sound like this, that guitar has bad intonation. And if you can't adjust it on that guitar, it's a guitar you don't want to purchase. Or if it's one that you already own, see if you can get it intonated by a professional. Okay, now, the other part that you want to know about your guitar is that you want to know all of your open chords on your guitar. Be prepared to study scales and things like that. Now, we'll go over some basic things today. Just finding notes on your guitar is extremely important. Okay. Now, most guitarists, unfortunately, don't go into a music program knowing how to read music very well, and that's just kind of true for a large percentage of our guitar players. So be prepared to learn to read music. But to get a head start on that, you can either contact, or if you have a current teacher that can help you start learning to read music, or find a teacher that can help you learn to read music on your guitar. So, but I'll show you a simple way to get started knowing your fretboard on your guitar and finding notes on it. Okay. The first thing you need to know is the musical alphabet. The musical alphabet includes 7 letters. It's the first 7 letters of just your regular alphabet. It's A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay? Now what you have to know is that there are distances between those letters in the alphabet. Okay? And those are called whole steps and half steps. In the musical alphabet, there are half steps between the B to the C and the E to the F. Now, in order to apply that to your guitar, you have to know how to find whole steps and half steps on your guitar, on each individual string. Okay, the strings are numbered 1 to 6, with 1 being the highest here, and 6 being the lowest here. Now we're going to see if we can find whole steps and half steps on our guitar. So a half step on the guitar is the distance of 1 fret. A whole step is the distance of 2. Now, direction is important in reference to pitch. Pitch is how high or low a sound is, okay? Towards the body on the guitar, this would be the body, this is part of the guitar, right? The big part here that you're holding. Towards the body on the guitar, the pitch gets higher, so that direction is up. So if I go to the 6th string 1st fret, and I go all the way to the body, the pitch got higher as I went up, okay? And that's why that direction is up. Down is going to be towards what they call the headstock or the tuners on the guitar, right? All the way to the open 6th string, okay? Now I mentioned that a half step on the guitar equals 1 fret, and a whole step equals 2 frets, okay? My musical alphabet once again was A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Half steps between B and C, and E and F, okay? Now, let's see if we can get some notes on the 6th string learned on our guitar, and this will apply to every single string on your guitar. Now, you have to know what each open string is tuned to, all right? E being the 6th string, A, the open 5th, D, the open 4th, G, the open 3rd, B, the open 2nd, and E, the open 1st. Okay? Now, let's go to the 6th string on our guitar. We said that that string was tuned to E. In our musical alphabet, the next note after E is F. The distance between those is a half step, okay? Any open string to the 1st fret on the guitar is the distance of a half step. So the 6th string open to the 1st fret on the guitar is a half step, all right? Open E, open 6th string, half step above E, F on the 1st fret. The next note is G. I went up 2 frets, you see that? So F, I'll use my first finger so you can see that. Up 2 frets is G. The next note is A. How far is it? Whole step, 2 frets. A. B is my next note. How far is that? Whole step, 2 frets. My next note is C. How far is that? Half step, 1 fret. My next note is D, whole step, 2 frets. My next note is E. I'm back at E now, right? Everything came back. So then, and this is an important part on the guitar, we go up 2 frets to get to E, and we're at the 12th fret, okay? The octave is actually at the 12th fret on the guitar. So after the 12th fret, everything just repeats, okay? Except you won't have open strings at that point, all right? So that just applies to every string on the guitar. Knowing your fretboard and just knowing that will put you so far ahead when you go into as a music major for specifically for a guitar. So you apply that to each string on the guitar. Let's apply it to the 5th string. Okay, that one we said was tuned to A. That's the 5th string on our guitar. It's tuned to A. What's the next note in our musical alphabet? B. Okay, it's a whole step to B. So open. I have to go up 2 frets. Remember, open to 1st fret is half step, whole step. 2nd fret is B. My next note is C, up a half step. My next note is D, up a whole step. See how I'm applying those distances, right? 1 fret for a half step, 2 frets for a whole step. My next note is E, up a whole step, right? My next note is F, up a half step. My next note is G. And what happens at the 12th fret? Back to where I started, because that's the octave on our guitar. So, I hope that makes sense. You can apply that to every string on the guitar. Of course, your starting point will be different for each string, because each string is tuned differently. All right? But that's just one major tip for guitar players, is to be prepared to read music on your guitar and find notes on your guitar that way, because it's very beneficial for you no matter what style of music you play. and be open and versatile to other styles of guitar playing. Now, as far as preparing for music auditions, having a classical guitar piece or a jazz chord melody piece prepared and ready to play are excellent pieces, the things that you can do to audition for music scholarships and things like that, okay? So start learning a finger style. I can show you today just a basic, if you don't play a finger style or any solo guitar on your instrument yet. Now the guitar is actually kind of a solo instrument because you can play a lot of it, because you can play harmonies and melodies on it together. So just a simple exercise that you can do in order to start preparing is the position of your playing hand. You can just play open strings with this exercise, okay? It'll get you used to using your fingers, right? If in case you're just used to playing with the pick, right? Which pick is good too, but we gotta know how to use our fingers as well, okay? So whenever you play with your playing hand on your guitar, right, and you do a finger style without a guitar pick, you use your thumb, your index finger, your middle finger, and this is actually called your angular finger, or more well known as the ring finger. They use letters for those for those fingers on the playing hand. Starting with the thumb, it's P, I, M, A, and those are actually in Spanish, and that's why they named them that way. So we pulgar, indijo, medio, and angular, right? That's what they call those in Spanish. But P, I, M, A. This is a simple exercise that you can do. If you play the sixth string open with your thumb, and then you play the third string with your index, the second string with your middle, and the first string with your angular finger or ring finger. See, that's the exercise. Your hand position is very important when you do this. I'll adjust the camera a little bit here. See the angle of my hand? If your hand is doing this, that's not a good thing. See, this is how you achieve the best tone. You hear the difference? And the way to achieve that good tone and get to your playing hand in the correct position is to simply lay your hand up over to your side, put it over your guitar towards the back of the sound hole so you're not muting it, okay? Because the guitar is actually not a very loud instrument, the acoustic guitar. And so if you play right over the sound hole, you're just going to mute it. Okay, you play towards the back of the sound hole. See the angle of your hand? It naturally lays that way, right? When you first put your hand there, and you get that good tone. Now, I have to make my hand do this, and my tone is not so good there, right? You hear how good the tone is there? Right? Of course, it also depends on the instrument as well. But those are just a few tips. Just being able to find notes on your guitar, and your hand position. Know some solo guitar pieces as far as like classical and jazz. Be prepared to learn to read music, right? To an extent, and be prepared to not only play solo guitar pieces, but to play in an ensemble format, right? Where you'll have a specific part and you'll play with other musicians, either in jazz band or guitar ensemble, okay? Which hopefully you'll choose to do both. I hope this helps. And please, if you have any questions about guitar at Amarillo College, just contact the college, and just contact the music department and ask any questions that you would like to ask. Okay, thank you.